All right guys, so once we got back down here, I had a lot of work cut out for me. All right, so we have a little bit of a project today. If you saw my last video, we went up north and got rained on, snowed on, hailed on. So the tarp, the canvas, actually collected a lot of condensation and water and stuff. And so the ground was super muddy, so we couldn't press it down and fold it up nice and neat. So we ended up just rolling it and then throwing a ratchet strap around it and throwing it in the back of the truck. And it's like 4 times as big as the bag is. So today we're gonna actually lay it out and let it dry in the sun, and then tomorrow I'll probably flip it over and do the same, and we'll try and wash off as much mud as possible. So that's what we have going on today. All the poles had mud in the ends. All of the connectors got wet and were starting to rust a little bit, and the canvas tent part is very large and very heavy, and it had a ton of water and mud trapped in it, rolled up. We weren't even able to fit it back into the bag because the ground was all muddy, so we weren't able to roll it on the ground to get it packed into the bag. So now that it's down here though, what I ended up having to do is lay the whole thing out, and you have to let it dry. It is mold and mildew resistant, but only if you keep it dry, not if you let water sit in it, especially if you roll it up and put it in a cool, dark place. So what we ended up doing is laying it out for maybe half a day, and then I flipped the whole thing over and laid it out so that the other side could also dry out. And then I actually went around with towels and started wiping up all of the water that was beading up. It was kind of interesting because I was able to also see how well of a water barrier it was, how water resistant it was. They sell rain flies, and I'll put tarps over it when we get there, but the water was literally rolling around. So I'm super grateful that it is that water resistant, because we're gonna need that up there through July and August. Those are the monsoon months, and they get a lot of rain, more than here in the valley. I think it's like 5 to 7 inches of rain each of those months, respectively. I can't remember which one it is. I think maybe July is 5 and August is 7 inches. So we're gonna need that in those months. So after I wiped up all of the water, what I ended up doing is I actually went around and took all of the connectors and I started spray painting them just to give them an extra coating. Now they're gonna be on the inside, but what I noticed is just from them getting a little bit wet, they started to rust. Everything is steel and they're supposed to be coated so that they don't rust, but they were still getting surface rust. So I figured I would just do a little bit of extra work, give them an extra coat of paint, just so they have something so that we can get up there. The main thing that we need is just to be able to get up there, get it assembled, and then for it to stay together until September. So I got those all painted. I had to make sure I got them painted on both sides, let them dry, that whole ordeal, and then let the rest of the canvas part dry. And there's even some nooks and crannies that I had to be extra careful with. And then once that happened, it was just a matter of rolling it back up and stuffing it back into this bag that, as we all know, whenever you buy an item and it comes in a bag, it usually doesn't fit back in. This was a chore and a half, and basically what I aimed for was to get this thing folded into a size that was smaller than the bag, and ended up with something slightly bigger than the bag that ended up fitting exactly into the bag with some extra help. You're basically leaning on it like I was wrestling this thing. So it did end up working out. The tent is ready to go back up there, and we were thinking about taking a test trip up there, but that thing is it's so heavy, and it's actually very simple to set up, but it does take time, but it's very simple. And you need 2 people at a minimum. You can't do it with 1 person. We decided we're not gonna take that trip up there to test it out. We're just gonna wait till we get up there, but we will try and get up there early on to build a deck so that by the time we get up there, we can just set the tent right on the deck and it's good to go. So that's something we are going to try to do. Another little fun thing that you might enjoy is when I drove the truck back that I rented, it had so much mud underneath, and on top of everything, our entire carport was just covered in mud. And you know, like dirt clods, it had dried up. And so basically I tasked out the kids. I was about to start, you know, shop vacuuming all this mud and hammering all the dirt clods because it was just everywhere, you know, in the front and the back. And I was like, you know what, I need to be working, but my kids would definitely enjoy this. So it'd be a better use of their time and my time. So I basically paid each of them. Rory, she's my brute force one. I gave her a hammer and I was like, smash all the dirt clods. She was like, yeah. And then I told Eliza, who's more like detail oriented, I was like, hey, can you know, vacuum up all of this mud? And she was like, yeah. And so the two of them were out there just having a blast, kind of each in their own, we'll call it, you know, specialty or niche, as far as their like skills and interests go. So that was a lot of fun. And I put them to work. They got paid for it because it was extra beyond their chores. It was a mess that I made. And it allowed me to get several hours of work done that I really needed to do because I had taken that weekend off. So guys, as far as the aftermath goes, that's pretty much it. In the next episode, I'm gonna be talking about how we sold our trailer. This only happened a couple of weeks ago. It was a long process, but I'll get into that in the next video. So thanks for watching another episode of Little House on the Plateau, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey Felicity.
Look.
Hi. What are you eating?
Apple?
Can you hand me one?
Yes.
Through the hole? Go get me an apple.
Oh my.
Please.
Oh,
Yeah, go down and get one and then bring it back and hand it to me through there.
Awesome, and I'll have
Thank you.
I got creamer today.
Mmm, yum.
My apple.